Well, good morning, Nigeria, and welcome to the morning brief. It's a beautiful day, July 20, 2026. And some would say it's a brand new day, a brand new week. Welcome to the show where we wake you up with the latest news, lively conversations, and everything you need to know about Nigeria, the continent, and all around the world. I am Kelly Egiga. Good morning, guys.
And we're live for you from our global headquarters here in Lagos. Welcome. I am Bukola Koka.
And I'm Jeffrey. There's a lot to unpack, so it's going to be breezy, quick, and with a lot of sprite. Let's get started. Before we get started with what I think you want us to get started with, did I say maybe four? Well, let's talk about security. First up, we want to say that we thank the troops for successfully foiling an attack and rescuing people somewhere in Borno State. And this would have been another statistic added to the ones we're already angry over, that the ease of abduction is becoming way too many. So when they do well, we will say thank you to all of the men and all the agencies that have been able to bring this to bear to ensure that our people are not in abductors den and that attack was foiled. I also want to remind ourselves that last week there were lots of questions as to, now that the Orrire children and their teachers have been released or rescued from that particular bush, we were asking for, can we see the bodies? Or if we don't see the bodies, who are those that were arrested? Well, the DSS has finally filed a charge against 3 of them, 10-count charge on Friday. So we commend them. So we expect that this hearing or this judicial process will be expedited as much as possible so that everyone who is responsible for all of this will be brought to book. So on this, commendations all the way.
Indeed, commendations all the way, Jeffrey, especially also to our security agents who have been, at the center of operations, ensuring the rescue of the Orrire children, ensuring the rescue of the Kwara children, ensuring the rescue of the Kogi children. And one thing that seems to stand out is the synergy, unlike what was obtainable in the past, between the armed forces, the police, the DSS, and other security agents in Kogi over the weekend. That was, one significant factor that also shaped the character of that operation. And perhaps, we require more of this subsequently. But because what we're also seeing is, the approach to targeting soft targets, going to schools either in Kogi or in Kwara, we're seeing that, these kidnappers, they seem to target schools. Our schools need to be safer, especially at this particular point in time. But we must thank our security operatives for a yeoman's job that they've been doing in the last couple of weeks. And we hope that, from here, we'll be telling better stories as far as security is concerned.
Yeah. Well, indeed, big commendations for the security agencies, like both of you have mentioned. I like the fact that, we have this rescue again in Borno State, but just to remind the security agencies that there are about 5 areas or so Senator Alin Dume had mentioned that there were kidnapping, so abduction. So while we celebrate this release, rescue, we expect that the others who are still in captivity will also get to regain their freedom. But guys, we are tracking so much for you. And in the world of sports, it was indeed a big night yesterday in New York. Or maybe I should say it earlier hours of this morning. I'm not sure now the time zone and difference.
No, it was late last night.
Last night, yeah. So, Spain, they are champions of the world. And just as I had mentioned on this show, where I'd said, look, there was that narrative that, Messi is going to perhaps pass on the torch to Lamine Yamal. Some will say, well, eventually played out. There are those who are saying, thank God Spain won, because Argentina has been favored all through the tournament. But guys, historic victory for Spain. Guys.
Well, I did hear over the weekend that millions of people around the world had signed a petition urging FIFA to remove Argentina from this World Cup, saying that FIFA was unduly favoring Messi because this is his last World Cup, and Argentina, to the defending champions, to winning the World Cup. And what What a commentary I heard with no objectivity at all, you know. Analysts rejoicing over the victory of Spain because of how Argentina, you know, played this particular match. And the talking point was also that this appears to be the trend. Of course, we'll be talking about this more later on the program, but it appears a well-deserved victory for Spain for how they have played their previous matches up until this one in this World Cup. And another match that stood out, guys, was England and what's the other country now? France.
The third place.
A thrilling win. It was a comeback for England, and thanks to Bukayo Saka, our own Bukayo Saka. Well, England has taken him now for the hat-trick that he played. So it was a fantastic end to the World Cup. Guys.
I like the sound of that. Our own Bukayo
Saka. It's not Bukayo Saka, it's Bukayo Saka. Is our own.
We like to claim success.
Michael Olise, our own Michael Olise as well.
Yeah, our own Michael Olise.
I did watch the match, and I was rooting for Spain, and I'm happy. Spain dominated, outplayed Argentina. Messi was missing. From the semi-finals, there was a rush of goals or gold rush to a final that we had gold drought, literally. In fact, it wasn't as pulsating as we expected it to be, but it's a final. Spain deserves this victory. In fact, I was chatting with our colleagues, Austin Okonokpa and the rest of them. Austin he was watching this match live. I said, look, if Spain loses this match, it's going to be very painful. So what the strategy was, from what I see, from what Scaloni did, was absorb the pressure for as long as you can, maybe for 70 minutes, and then give it some sprite and see how much you can bite. But all of that was botched by Spain, and they held on. Although I had issues with Spain trying to play too much samba like Arsenal, with greatest respect, you know, hit this thing and let this...
What's samba?
Don't worry, we'll talk about that.
Kelly, do you know what samba is?
I do.
One person I'll give that saved Argentina yesterday is their goalkeeper, Martinez. Literally, he did a lot of yeoman's job. It would have been horrific. 2 goals on target for 90 minutes extra time. So we're going to explore all of this with expert guests who understand sports a lot more. While Donald Trump was there, Infantino was there, record money is being made in this particular tournament. We're hearing big double digits in billions of euro. So will this pave the way for Infantino to keep his job despite the criticism of him being biased? But we'll talk about all of this. But Bukola, before we leave comments, congratulations. The women are in charge of the judiciary as we speak. So the Chief Judge of Nigeria, Kudura Kukekereko, a Lord Justice. We have the President of the Court of Appeal, and now we have the NBA President. Although there are lots of controversy around
the election.
In terms of electoral, there was just 33% of the voter turnout of voting that was recorded. But the record is out there. She is the second. But actually, she's the first elected.
Elected, because the first was appointed.
No, not appointed. The person, our principal, the president was appointed the Attorney General under, I think, the IBB government. So she naturally occupied the seat until that tenure.
So we could say it's an appointment, not an election.
Not really. She just
selected.
Jeffrey,
she was elected to be vice president. No, I think she was elected to be vice president. Of course, like the president. But when the president now left to take up a public appointment, she naturally, just like president and vice president.
A substantive appointment. Does that suffice for you?
Well, congratulations to the Badijo Okunsoya, the new president of the Nigeria Bar Association. By the way, I couldn't help but notice, you know, this was very controversial. And there was a gentleman, I think I did the interview, that I even asked him, he said there's nothing like that, that said that maybe the establishment wanted him and all of that. Well, I haven't seen the president or his handlers congratulate this lady. So, there's a Bayo Nanuga, Sunday Dare, Boala, not that. Daniel Boala, who is a lawyer, so I'm expecting a congratulations. Else people will be reading meaning into this, because they will say that if it was the other guy that won, maybe by now the presidency would have responded. So
well, Jeffrey,
let the president
you do
respond.
have a point, especially particularly because of the politics that shaped this election. The reported letter from the Attorney General of the Federation interfering in the viewpoint of the leadership of the NBA in the process of electing a member. Perhaps, there were candidates that the establishment favored and all of that. But regardless of the hitches that, characterized the election, she won decisively with 12,300 plus votes, and the person that came close had about 7,000 votes, I believe. And that was a clear, statement from members of the NBA about who they want to lead the organization in the next couple of 2 years, I believe.
Yeah.
And so congratulations to
now that women are in charge, we expect a better
judicial system. I was just going to say that because, it's historic for the women. But guys, we are tracking so much for you. Let's take a moment now and we get to take a look at the papers. We're back in just a moment. Please stay with us.